Your questions, we'll start on the left side. Jameson, third row.
For Chucky to kick it off. Just obviously, you guys always say it's just another game, game by game. But when it is, no matter what, the last game of the year is a little different kind of approach. Nowadays, knowing you really aren't saving for anything, empty the tank sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit in the sense that both teams are feeling that, but we've had that mindset all playoffs, and we don't want to, get too far away from that. But it's been a very even series, even though we won 3, they won 3. I mean, for us, both teams to have an opportunity, most teams when you lose 3 in a playoff series, you don't have a chance at another game, and somehow both of us have an opportunity still. So very exciting, kind of leave it all out there. Desperation on both sides, and it's been a very even series, I feel like. So it all comes down to this.
Right side, second row.
This is for both of you guys. So if you win tomorrow night, you win the Stanley Cup. If you lose, you're the team that blew the 3-0 lead in the Stanley Cup final. Is this a legacy-defining moment, a career-defining moment?
No, I mean, tomorrow we have one thing on our mind to play our best game, and that's about it. Like, we have a unbelievable opportunity to win the cup, but our mindset is to play our best game starting from the first shift, and that's about it. That's all we think about.
Anything to add, Matthew?
No, it was perfect. Yeah, it was good.
All right. Front left.
Matthew, kind of along those lines, how do you sort of balance the emotions? You know what 3-0 means, and it's one game for everything. It's a very different set of emotions. How do you somehow process all of that into just playing, like Barkey just said, the best hockey game you can play tomorrow? How do you do all that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the talks with leads in series, whether it's 3-0, 3-1, 3-2, whatever it is, it's a lot of noise coming from everybody but us. It doesn't matter if we're up 1-0 in the series, if it was even before game 1, like, we're going in there with the same mindset. We have not, gotten away from that at all. Has, the opportunity to win it all been there the last couple of games? Yeah, but at the end of the day, like, they've played better than us in 3 games, and we've played better than them in probably 3 games. So, it really doesn't come down to that huge big picture. All that we're thinking about is coming down, coming to the rink tomorrow and try to win that first shift, win your first period, come out and play as fast and as physical as we possibly can to start the game, because we know that's what makes us successful. So I'd say we're more, excited for that part to come out and play in front of our home fans, which are so incredibly crucial for us. And we know that they've been waiting for this game. I mean, this is probably the biggest game in the NHL in however many years. So our fans will be jacked up for it, and we can't wait.
Front right.
To continue this, sorry, but yesterday Paul said, just got to forget it. Like Edmonton, it didn't bother them that they were down 0-3. How do you guys kind of forget the last 3 games? Edmonton, aside from that 1/3 period, has kind of been the better team the last 3.
Yeah, I mean, you just, like I said, for both of us at one point in the series have lost 3 games. It doesn't matter how it's gone. It doesn't matter how you draw it up. Like, they lost first 3 games. We lost the next 3. Like, it's even right now. It doesn't matter what has happened to get to this point. So it's easy to forget. You forget everything that's happened throughout this whole season, really. The whole season comes down to one game. Like, at home, how could you not be so jacked up for this? This is absolutely incredible opportunity. So, yes, you want to, recognize and remember some of the good things that helped you, beat these guys earlier in the series, but I don't know. I'm trying to forget all of it and just go in there with win this one game. That's what it comes down to.
Front left.
Matthew, Sergei was so dialed in the first 3 games. We haven't talked to him much since he got pulled. What's your sense of how he's handled, probably letting in more goals than he's wanted to the last 3?
Well, it's definitely not his fault. I think that's up to us to tighten up defensively, get off to better starts. We've, been trailing in each of the last 3 games, which is, might open you up a little bit, cause for more chances again. So we have to be a lot better in front of them, and we will tomorrow. So, it's definitely not his fault. Absolutely not. So, we expect all of us to play our best game of the year tomorrow, and we certainly know that he's going to be really dialed in for us like he has been, for my whole 2 years here. He's been outstanding the way he prepares, his focus. We talking the last few days, talking after Game 6, with the players, how we can get better, and everybody's ready to go.
Take a few more in English, right side, third row.
Yeah, Alexander, just growing up, did you dream of Stanley Cup final, Game 7, getting a chance to play in it, trying to create your own iconic moment?
I was one of those kids for sure that played by himself wherever outdoors or at home or literally anything, and thinking about like this is Game 7 Stanley Cup playoffs, maybe even like overtime, thinking about those moments. So yeah, I've had many of those memories, and now it's becoming true, and tomorrow for sure exciting, the most exciting time to be a hockey player.
Front left, David.
Hey guys, this could be for either of you. Just wondering about the power play. It was such a key for you in the first 3 rounds, really contributing. It's been a bit more of a struggle, obviously, in the final. Any adjustment you guys feel is needed that could push it in a more positive direction?
Yeah, we've talked a lot about it. Of course, their penalty kill is dialed in. They're playing really well. They played really good against Dallas, and now they're doing the same thing to us. So obviously, we have to recognize that, and we've been talking about it and working on it. So tomorrow, like I said, just like everything else in our game, we just need to come out and play our best. So whether it's 5-on-5 or power play or a penalty kill.
And we'll do one more in English on the right side here.
It's a question for either of you guys. Just, first Game 7 in Stanley Cup final in South Florida. Just what do you expect the crowd to be like tomorrow night?
It's probably going to be the loudest rink I've ever been in my life, is what I'm expecting. It's, I mean, you can't even describe the feeling of excitement. I can't even express the feeling of excitement around the city right now with everybody. The build up throughout this whole season and throughout the whole playoffs, it comes down to this. So I'm expecting it to be as loud as any building I've ever heard in my life.
Matthew, thank you for your time. You could hop off. We'll do a couple in Finnish now.
Thank you.
Can you just go over there by that gentleman?
Oh, sure.
And use the microphone? Thank you for your time, guys.
Thank you.
You've talked before about how you really don't believe in momentum, game to game and series, things like that. With that, how much does this Game 7 maybe feel like a clean slate in your mind for both teams?
Yeah, I think the puck drops and momentum will change and over the course of the game, but more so even true in Game 7s. The finality of it, nobody's practicing tomorrow, right? There's no video tomorrow. So there's this kind of clean slate because both teams have fought real hard to get to the very end.
Left side, fourth row, Sean.
That said, I think I saw somewhere this last 3 game the score is as lopsided as it's ever been in a 3-game stretch through the Cup Finals. They've had at least a 3-goal lead in each of these games. I know you've said you've liked a lot of patches of your game in that time. So
I like Game 5.
Are you guys closer to being the dominant team in a game again than the results would suggest?
I don't know, the first part of your question saddened me to the point that I don't know if I have an answer for the back half of your question. I don't think dominance factors in this at all. The expectation that you would hit the ice and dominate the other team, Game 4 would tell you that they did in that one. I would tell you that it doesn't matter. We're not coming to dominate the game, we're coming to play it. It wouldn't factor into anything that I would think or do today or tomorrow. But I don't know that I answered the question.
Right side.
Yeah, I don't feel that would be something that I've processed if we're closer to dominance. I don't feel that.
I don't think I'm like focusing in on the word dominant, but it looks like they have been a clear better team by
Okay.
results over the last little while.
Okay.
But you like where you are. So from the outside, it looks like
Well,
they're starting to walk away from
yeah.
the series. How close are you to turning that tide based on where you are right now?
won't know that till tomorrow night. Like I said, I like game 2 and 5 especially. We lost one of those, but in terms of style, I think there were blocks of time, 2 on the front end of the game, 5 on the back end of the game, and even 6 on the back end of the game that we were really strong defensively and found a way to generate some offense. I like that. Game 4 is the game we will decide that it's an aberration for us. And then it wouldn't matter in my mind how close the other were based on chances for and against. We're a good enough team to win without dominance.
Right side, second row.
Paul, I understand you're looking at one game, you're not looking at the big picture, but at the same time, the big picture is all that matters in game 7, right? Is this winning it is the big picture.
I think you were right when you started.
Okay, fine. But
and you just ran right off the rails.
I did run
friend.
right off, but I got to ask, though, is this not just for you, but for everybody, career-defining, legacy-defining moment?
I will let you know at the end of it.
How do you, other than talking to us 6 more times, how do you not drive yourself nuts over the next 32 hours with, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, we can try this? How do you not overplay this until puck drop?
Well, so the question that I'm going to answer is based on the question that I hear, and that is, how do you fill the time and control your mind in the idea of what ifs or what you could do? But we've had a very strong, clear structure for the last 3 days in my mind that would have probably started. I did something out of my routine, and probably because it was a 6 o'clock game. I did the game after game 6, and I rarely do that. So by the time I got up the next day, I had 3 days done. Maybe not all the details, but how each day was going to be framed to the team. And that will fill your day, and it will fill your mind. So there isn't really time or aberration. This will be, the quiet time kind of will be between now and the morning skate. What happens from the morning skate to the game time, there'll be a new set of emotions to that, and we'll deal with them. We have some experience to that. So my day is full enough, and my direction is clear enough that I don't have any moments of what if. We're doing this, this is what we're doing.
Right side, first row.
You've been in game 7s before, but not like this with the 3 straight lows. How do you kind of get?
I appreciate how fast you blasted over those words. That was kind of you.
Well, I try. To get guys that haven't really done a whole lot, to have not only short memories, but the knowledge that everything can be forgiven, forgotten, whatever, tomorrow in that game 7. If you score, if you win, none of this beforehand matters.
If you've handled the why of where you're at, and that would be hockey, right? Specific hockey details. So we would handle the why of it. Then you don't carry it forward. I understand every one of your questions in terms of why you would ask them, because there's a far bigger contextual story that means nothing to me now, but it means everything to you, right? That's the stories you have to write. That's actually what makes this whole thing awesome, is the context of it. So nobody ever has played on a backdoor rink in Canada and scored the Game 3 overtime winner in the qualifying round. Ever. It's one game always that excites you. And that is the context of this game, and the one that we will live in that context.
Left side, first row.
Paul, what's your sense of how Sergei's handling the 3-game losing skid from a mental perspective?
Oh, I liked his game, his last game. I thought he was strong and solid. Now, we were kind to him. We didn't give up a shorthanded breakaway to start the game. I thought that was good of us. Cut down on those for him and gave him a chance. We'll try that. We're going to try that again tomorrow. But he looked good. I thought he looked good in the game. He looked solid.
We'll take 2 more questions for Coach. Right side, fourth row.
Hi, Paul. Kenzie Lone with TSN. With today being that final full team practice, what did you want to see from your guys when you left the ice today?
Certain details and how much they're talking to each other, just kind of a vibe feel. So we ran slightly different drills. Some of it's contextual, some of it's just when we order them, how we move. You're just watching to see how they move around each other. What are the natural conversations that start? How much of them are hockey specific and mood specific? And that's where you start to build your feel of what the room is, where it's going to get to. We've been like a family here for a long time. Somebody, what did you say, 209 with exhibition? 209 games on the core of this group over the last 2 years. So we all know each other. And what I would want then as a coach when I'm on the ice to make that we are talking to each other like we know each other, like we've built these relationships, and they've been intense relationships and intense environments, that we're still talking to each other the same way that we normally would.
Last question, second row.
Just on Sergey, he hasn't taken off practice days previously in this series. Is there a reason? Is it just you wanted to give him extra
So
rest?
he would be in all that rotation in all of the playoffs. The difference for us is the 2-game blocks. So he almost never skates the day before a game and would always go morning.
But he has been in this series.
Correct. But not on the off day in between single days. For the start, the off days and the single days didn't skate and would skate in the morning. So in the first 4 games, there was 1 day in between he didn't skate on those days. So as we've gotten to the further, wanted to get him back into the routine of not the day before. So it's actually to get back to an actual repeatable pattern, even though the days aren't lined up the same way.